All right, welcome back. It's 13 minutes after 7. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, last year, the International Integrated Reporting Council published the final International Integrated Reporting Framework, making it possible for financial reporting to take on this new format. Now, yesterday, Nkonki Incorporated released the first integrated report for corporate governance for state-owned companies. Now, this is important. The report says that there's improvement and greater compliance with the King Code disclosure recommendations in the public sector. We're here to unpack that for us and speak to us about it is Thuto Masasa. She's an audit partner at Nkonki Incorporated and also a contributor to the report. Welcome to Morning Live. Thank you so much for joining us, Thuto.
Thanks, Ayanda.
This has been a long time coming. Talk to us a little bit about the before and after, the integrated reporting and how it's a game changer.
Ayanda, integrated reporting really, one would say it's a new way of corporate reporting. And what that really means, you would have seen in the past that companies are really reporting mostly on their financial performance. And now we'll see companies reporting more integrated or telling a story that is a bit more integrated from their strategy into their governance as well as their financial performance. And they will be weaving all of that together and telling the story to the investor and stakeholders.
Who and how will integrated reporting benefit in the South African context?
Well, it will benefit investors, and you'll see in the research that we did perform, basically, what we are trying to do is really trying to influence that space and encourage companies. And I think you alluded to actually the integrated reporting, say, framework was actually finalized in December 2013. And that's where we'll see now companies will have a much more uniform or at least a clearer picture of how to report. And again, as you've asked, it will influence your general investor in the street and any other stakeholder.
Words such as privatization have been thrown around because of the state of our state-owned enterprises. Much debate there have been over the past few years, I would say. So talk to us about the significance of your report in corporate governance when it comes to parastatals.
Okay, when it comes to parastatals, I must actually also mention particularly the Schedule 2 companies in terms of PFMA that we looked at. I mean, the asset base there is actually more than 1 trillion with a revenue of more than 260 billion. So one gets to understand the picture of how significant the parastatals are. Particularly as well globally, we understand that they actually contribute about 40% of the GDP globally. So parastatals are really important in that context. So when it comes to integrated reporting, we want to encourage them as well to then disclose appropriately in a manner that any investor and any stakeholder can easily understand what it is the value proposition for a company or how the company basically will be adding value to an investor and a stakeholder.
Are you in a position to perhaps give us some information on some of the companies that you reported on and how they fared in the report?
Yeah, and I'll comment, I think, overall, when we at Nkonki started with integrated reporting specifically for state-owned companies, we started in 2011 doing the research to see how they are disclosing, basically. And now we started with an average percentage there of overall scoring of 40.6%. It increased last year, overall scoring to 46%. And this year, we've seen the overall scoring actually increasing to just about 50%, which is really great for them that there is improvement year on year. And it's encouraging to see that they're actually wanting to comply and wanting to tell the stories of the company and integrate the stories to everybody, the stakeholders, particularly well in their space. They're accountable to a number of stakeholders.
Thuto, perhaps as briefly as possible in closing, to the viewer at home who's just thinking, I'm not very au fait with all the technical terms and the jargon. I don't really care much for the numbers. I just want a better South Africa. What does this mean for that individual who's just at home, who wants a better life?
And really what it means is that you will now get to understand the real story about a company, starting from strategy, the sustainability of a company, the financial performance of a company, and those stories will come through in a form of this integrated reporting, and from start to finish, and we can see basically the integration throughout the report. The story will be better understood by the man in the street.
We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. I really did enjoy this conversation. We'll have to leave it, as I said, for now. Thuto Masasa is an audit partner at Nkonki Incorporated. She's also a contributor to the report that we were speaking about now. That has been a long time coming. We'll have to leave it as, again, this is the third time I'm saying leaving it there. Maybe because deep down inside I want to continue talking about it. But let's take a look at your financial indicators now. Your currency's up first.